the ability to have your physician come straight to you. So now I'm going to turn this back over to Ashley, the expert in the skilled nursing.
Batangas Gardens Skilled Nursing is our highest level of care here on campus. It is a true skilled nursing facility offering 24/7 nursing oversight as well as therapy. We offer short-term rehabilitation. So that is after a planned or unplanned hospital stay that requires 24/7 skilled nursing care and or daily therapy services. If the hospital is recommending skilled and you've stayed a certain amount of time, it's typically paid for by your insurance, such as Medicare or other various Advantage plans. It is very important to check that we accept your insurance, especially if you're scheduling any procedures or surgeries. We are limited with who we are in network with. I am going to do a handout probably by end of the day today, so in the morning you can pick that up at the front desk, but it'll just go in detail about open enrollment and about what insurances we accept. In no means do you have to change your insurance just because we are not in network, but it is just so you know, if we are not in network, then we would not be able to accommodate services down in Batangas. It also does impact your therapy, even if you're getting Part B therapy, so it'd be like in the villas or in your condos. If Bermuda Village is not in network, then Legacy cannot treat you because we bill all of Legacy's treatment hours. In Batangas, we have, of course, the larger private rooms with private bathroom, dining table, as well as kind of an efficiency kitchen. There's a mini fridge and things. We also offer long-term care. So these are when folks need, of course, routine daily care. The health center becomes their home. That is where they live. This is typically paid for with private funds or any type of long-term care insurance. We also accept hospice as well as, again, respite stays. We also can utilize those rooms for infirmary. They are private rooms with a private bath. They are just a little bit smaller than the rooms for the rehab side. I think the most important thing I wanted to touch on, though, was really the insurance, because that seems to be our biggest sticker. A lot of times it's due to an unplanned hospital stay, and then I get a call, and unfortunately we are not in network, so it is never ideal to have you all go to another facility, but at the same time, the cost for rehab can really add up if we are not in network, so I would never want to bring you somewhere and have your out-of-pocket costs be astronomical when you could technically go across the street and have it all paid for. So I will always be happy to go over that with you. If you ever have any questions about insurance, have any upcoming procedures, give me a call. We can talk about it. We can also look at long-term care policies if you're interested in utilizing that down the line for any kind of supportive care or the health center. Oh, yes. And Wake Forest Baptist Health Geriatricians serve as our medical director for all the residents down in Batangas. So if you're there for rehab or living there, just like Emma said, think of it as they become your primary care physician while you're there with us. So that way they can respond immediately, make any medication changes. And if you are here just for short-term rehab, we always recommend a follow-up with your regular PCP within 2 weeks. That way we can send them over any information, all the documentation of what happened, so they don't miss a beat in your care and stay abreast of everything. And now I'll turn it back over to Emma for our frequently asked questions.
Okay, I'm going to try to anticipate all your questions. We'll see how we did. Okay, number one, what types of insurance do you accept? And Ashley mentioned there will be a handout that she will provide that will be up at the front desk. But just a brief overview, we do accept Medicare, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, or any PPO Advantage plan. See handout for more details. That will be available to you today. What's the difference between Cater Living and Greystone? And we really did, we talked about this, but in summary, both Cater Living and Greystones offer the same services, but in a different setting. Greystone's a more intimate setting with more concentrated team members that can easily help with task-to-task needs. Will the pavilions reopen? So for those of you that are familiar, the pavilions, if you go out of this room and take a right, there's a door on the right, and it's just a hallway. It has 6 rooms. Prior to COVID, we did utilize the pavilions, maybe for someone who didn't quite need memory care, but they really needed that very close supervision. So we had up to 6 residents in that hall, and we had 2 team members. So that's pretty much as close to, well, one-on-one care you're going to get in a setting like that. So unfortunately, when COVID hit, we were told that we needed to have a contingency plan for any positive cases to move them to an area where they're not around anybody else. At that time, I think we had 3 residents in pavilions, and we did find placement for them on campus, and they transitioned to a different care area and did very well, but we did kind of clear that out and made that our potential COVID wing. We never had to utilize it for a couple of reasons, because we were extremely successful compared to a lot of places around here with our COVID cases, and they learned that that wasn't really needed. So will pavilions reopen? Yes, we would love to open pavilions. A couple snags. As you are aware, maybe have heard, there is a nationwide shortage with staffing challenges. A countrywide staffing challenge. So we are definitely feeling that, like every other healthcare setting. It's very hard to get people to work and to keep people. So once we are able to grow our team, we will look for opportunities to be able to open that again. But we have to wait till we're fully staffed. We cannot take from other areas. So that we're waiting on that. And then the pavilions is its own little niche. It's very hard to find like the right people for pavilions. There's just a couple obstacles that we have. But yes, we do plan on opening that again, just contingent upon our staffing. Another question that we get a lot is, will a nurse always respond to the pull cord? So again, this is kind of one of those COVID things. Historically, yes, we would have a nurse, that pull cord would go, front desk knew to call down to the health center, and we would send a nurse to these pull cord responses. But as we touched on before, in the event that we're under outbreak status, we cannot send a nurse out of that center. So due to that, that's when we made the change, and we do have our supportive care team members who are CNAs. They do respond, and they will triage like they would if you were in their own area, and they do know how to respond to situations. But it's not always going to be a nurse due to that reason. Can a Bermuda Village team member provide short-term routine care treatments? That's a mouthful, but essentially it's that scenario that we talked about with the wounds. You know, I need wound change twice a week for 2 weeks. So it kind of goes back to that explanation for, at a drop of a dime, we can't allow people down there, and we can't allow a nurse to go out to the individual home. So that's a service that we are hoping to be able to bring back, and we're just looking for ways to be able to bring that back once we don't have all these COVID restrictions. What happens if I do not want EMS called during a house call? So you pulled that pull cord, and we say, listen, this is a 911 need, and you say, nope, do not call, or I do not want EMS to come. Unfortunately, there are certain scenarios that we reviewed where it said when 911 is needed that we have to call EMS. It's something that might be beyond our scope, or it's something that we feel needs immediate attention. Once EMS comes, you can refuse to go with EMS, and you can refuse EMS treatment at that point. But that is just our process that we do have to follow. So yes, you can refuse, but we will still call under certain scenarios. Do we accept non-Bermuda Village residents into our skilled nursing facility? So yes, we do. But please know that our Bermuda Village residents, independent supportive care, have priority for those beds. So that is why it's important. If you